You probably don't know this about me, but I am an early riser. And when I get up in the morning, I like to go for a bike ride. There's beautiful waterfront trails around my house, so I often go out there with my husband and friends, and we see nature and just enjoy the scenery. A couple weeks ago, after our ride, we decided to come back and cut through the neighborhood. And it's a good thing we did because on the side of the road in front of someone's house, they were getting rid of furniture. And this is the piece that I found. And here's the piece on my deck in my backyard. I did a bit of research on it because I wasn't sure what it was originally intended for. Seems like this type of furniture was meant as some sort of linen cupboard with shelves on the top and drawers on the bottom. It's definitely Art Deco inspired, but there's no maker's mark on it and no date. Oh, hi there, little guy. It definitely needs some work. The finish is pretty well gone, especially on the top. Lots of cracks, as you can see here. Not fussy on the back piece. I'm considering removing it, but we'll see. The wood looks gorgeous underneath the failing finish. Some cracking here that's a bit concerning because I don't know if it's going right through the veneer or if it's just on the surface. And there's a missing piece of veneer in the corner. And it appears that there's one handle missing as well, or knob, I should say. But all in all, not in terrible, terrible condition. I mean, it needs to be refinished, but I've seen way worse. And thank God, there's no paint to strip on this one. When I originally opened this drawer, I was excited because I went, yahoo, I got the missing knob. But unfortunately, every single one was mismatched. I guess the people that put it out on the road just included them because they thought, oh, you could use one of those. But obviously, I'm going to have to find four matching ones. But the nice surprise was I found that missing piece of veneer for the corner. So that will be a very easy repair just to glue it back into place. Happy to find that. There was a lot of bits and pieces to remove before I could start refinishing, and a lot of the pieces of metal and brass had a coating of lacquer on it from the spray, I guess, when they originally put the finish on. So I'm going to have to soak them and remove all that. This little screw here is stripped, so I've decided to try a couple other screwdrivers on it and see if I can get it out. It's not moving. I decided to use a file to help deepen the slot so a screwdriver will fit in, because that's the problem. It got stripped somehow, and I can't get a slot screwdriver to bite. So I figure maybe if I file it, it will work. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, it turned. Yes. You would not believe how long it took me to get out that single screw. I should have kept track of the time, but it took me a long time. Whew. Tough one. If you enjoy watching my videos, please hit the subscribe button. Each and every subscription helps my channel grow. Thanks. I'm using wood glue in a syringe to press the glue deep into the veneer, which is lifting here. I want it to go in as far as possible. Then I'll just glue the outside and attach the missing piece. The veneer along the bottom edge of both drawers was very fragile, and I didn't realize this. It was coming loose in a lot of spots, and when I put the drawers down and sort of dragged them, a lot of the veneer got chipped off. That was my mistake. I should have known better. But what I did is I managed to save some of the pieces of the small veneer, and I managed to glue them back in. Shoot. I'm suspecting that the finish on this, given the age of this piece, I think it may be shellac. So I'm going to try some denatured alcohol on it and see if that dissolves the finish. Oh, that's acetone. There's the denatured alcohol.
I mean, acetone should do it as well, but we'll see. Well, it definitely is dissolving the finish, as you can see here. And it's not taking very long either. So I think I will give this a little bath in denatured alcohol. Oh yeah. The only problem is I don't think I have enough, but we'll see. You can see the shellac on the cloth. I'm going to put my mask on because the denatured alcohol is pretty stinky, so I'm going to stop talking.
Even after I used the denatured alcohol on it, although it did get a lot of the finish off, there was still some residue left over. So I went over it lightly with some paint stripper and then scraped off any of the remaining bits and pieces. A pet peeve of mine is people who neglect drawers when refinishing furniture. Drawers are they're so important. People put their stuff in it and I just dirty drawers just they gross me out. Anyways, so right here I am cleaning the exterior of the drawers, sanding it all down, getting all the dirt off. keep watching. I have to go a little deeper with these drawers than usual because things go a little bit unexpected, but they get thoroughly redone, that's for sure. Just turning and turning and turning. Now that I've taken the bottoms off, it's much easier to sand the inside. So I'm using 120 grit sandpaper and my Surf Prep sander to get most of the finish off. Here's a look at the other drawer. Some gluing needs to happen there. It all has to be sanded. The joints there seem pretty good, but even the back, or the bottom rather, is in pretty rough shape. So I'm going to do the same here, to sand it all and remove the backs, clean them up inside and out. They're just old. They need work. Here's more of the damage along the edge of one of the drawers. I don't have the veneer pieces for any of these, so I'm going to just patch them with wood filler and then color match later on. And I have to glue a lot of the veneer. See how I don't know if you can tell, it's a little out of focus, but it's lifting. So I'm going to inject glue all along the edge. I was hoping all the cracking was just in the finish, but it turns out the cracking's actually in the veneer. So I'm going to have to, I think, fill it somehow and then just color match afterwards. This is the worst part right here. When I removed the little foot cap here, the piece of wood right in here popped out. So what I did is I glued it back in and clamped it, and I've done that on both sides because it happened on both sides. When I come back from lunch, I'm going to take these off, and I suspect that'll probably happen on this side too, which means I'll have to clamp them as well. But oh well, things happen. I finished all the repairs of the little missing veneer pieces on the drawer fronts, and I'm using a vinyl sealer by Mohawk here to just seal in everything before I add the Blendall powder stains to the little spots to try to camouflage them. Everything was going great. I was applying the vinyl sealer to the door so I can do the touch-ups until I got a few drips in the corner. Not much you can do when that happens. You just have to let it dry, sand it off, and then reapply. Oh well. While I'm waiting for the spots to dry, I return to the garage and start sanding the entire piece with 220 grit sandpaper. Here is one of the drawers and all the veneer repairs that I have to touch up. I'll be mixing Blendall powder stains with vinyl sealer and painting it onto all the light spots. There's a warm hue to the color in the wood, so I'm using the colors called Burnt Sienna and Perfect Brown, and I'm hoping that will be a close match. My first attempt has way too much burnt sienna in it, but I get better as I go on. I also use Mohawk's brush tip markers to color in some of the little areas that I didn't get, areas that were just a little bit more finicky. I often use my finger just to rub it in so it doesn't look like a straight of a line. It seems to fade it in a little bit better. And after I finished all the sort of touch-ups, I gave it a spray of vinyl sealer just to lock in the color before I apply any finish to the top.
It's not terrible. And that's all you can ask for. And when you stand back, it's even better. Sometimes you got to remember you're looking at it so close up that it doesn't look that great, but nobody stares at it that close. See? You can barely notice it. Now this is one of the doors. This is going to be a challenge. But I am just going to go for it. Can't look any worse. Well, it could, but we'll see. I just find this is just trial and error. I'm going to try, before I put a powder on this, I'm going to try one of my markers. I'm going to start at the very lightest color. Yeah, it's too light. That's not terrible.
It's finally time to stain the wood. I've opted to stain the lighter color wood in antique walnut by General Finishes. I thought that would just bring a richer color to it because it's a very light wood, and I don't like the high contrast between that and the walnut that's on the other parts. So we'll see how this works. I was originally going to stain just the lighter wood darker and leave the middle panel of walnut its natural color, but when I wiped it down with water to see what it would look like with a clear finish and no added color, it was like a very cool brown. And this on its own wasn't a bad thing, but the top of the cabinet had a very warm orangey undertone to the walnut. So I decided to use General Finishes color in nutmeg on the sides and all the lighter wood to add warmth to the piece. I could have used spray toners to, darken the lighter wood on the sides and all that, but there's a couple reasons I don't use it. It's difficult to use and get good at, so I'm okay with it, but I'm not great. But the other thing, it costs a lot of money, and the other thing is that it's super stinky and toxic, and if I don't have to use the sprays, I prefer not to. So that's why I opted to use just stain and just try to alter the color with adding another layer of another color stain on top. I soaked the hinges in boiling water mixed with vinegar, and then I used an SOS pad to clean off the residue. I'm really happy with the way this curbside find turned out. The walnut veneer is really the showstopper. It looks even better in real life. And I'm sure someone out there in the world will make good use of it for another 60, 70 years to come. I'm curious to know if anybody watching owns one of these, and if they do, is it a linen cupboard as they suspect, or was it meant to be something else? Just drop me a line in the comments. Catch you next time and enjoy the reveal.